Alright boys, I'm making this video just because I feel like I need to say this to people that, complain that I ask for character buffs, saying it's unrealistic for games to do character buffs, and some people even say it's illegal for games to do character buffs in gacha games, even though Grand Cross has already done that. But I've been around, I've been playing other games, as a human does. I don't just play one game. But right now, one of the games I've been playing is Epic 7, which is a pretty good game, although if you value your time, I don't recommend trying, but it's pretty good. It's kind of like Grand Cross, where it's turn-based, but in a different way. But one thing they do in in Epic 7, that should be on Grand Cross, is guess what? The topic of the video. Called balance adjustment, in which every 2 weeks, I think it's every 2 weeks, they pick a few characters that aren't performing as good as they should, or as they, maybe could be, and they just buff them. It's just simple as that. 3 stars, 4 stars, 5 stars, no, SSR, SR, R. They still release R characters or 3-star characters in the game as well. Can't be Grand Cross. And it's funny because this is also a Korean game. A Korean game. Just like Grand Cross. Right? But let's see. So this is recent. This came out 3 days ago, and it's going to be implemented in a few days. They give like a notice, and then 2 weeks for people to maybe like start working on the characters and stuff like that before it gets actually implemented. And here, I mean, these buffs are pretty okay. I don't really say too much about the game, but listen, I watched like 3 videos about these buffs, okay? And I'm pretty happy about this one in particular because I really like this character, Vildred. So you can see here, they go pretty in depth. These are the skills of the characters, and then they show what's being changed and what's being buffed. We've already done this before, okay? When Slime came back, they went ahead and they buffed stats for the characters, and they buffed their skills. I don't think it's too much to ask. They do this every 2 weeks. Like, I know Grand Cross has like 3 developers right now, but they do this every 2 weeks, and it cannot be that hard. It's crazy. I mean, this character right here, where Flan, she was like a meme because she was like horrible, and now she looks to be okay. Like, she looks to be actually usable, and that's all I'm asking for. You get characters, right? You get characters. I'm trying to think of a meme character, Camilla or something. I don't know. She was kind of bad since day 1, right? And I mean, she was good for like Guild Wars points, irrelevant. She's kind of bad since day 1, okay? Just buff her. Simple as that. The community sees the character is not very relevant, then you know what happens? They buff, because here, this happened recently. Well, they had a collab with Fullmetal Alchemist, which, if they had a collab with Fullmetal Alchemist, hey Grand Cross, can you set one up as well? That would be great. But the character Ed, the main character of the show, wasn't performing that good. He was okay. And so they just buffed the character before the banner left. They just buffed the character, and then more people were enticed to summon. Makes sense, right? They just buffed the character, made the character more usable, and end of story. If a character like Camilla or the new Easton comes out, right? It's gonna be there, but fine. A character like Easton comes out, literally just came out, and she's like mid. Do you expect people to summon for her? Like, do you expect me to like tell people to summon for this character? No, because I know they're not gonna buff her. Like, she's mid from day 1, right? And there's no chance of this character being buffed. Are they stupid? They could make more money if they buffed characters. I think the mentality they have is like, if they buff old characters, and new characters aren't going to look as good. But that's just untrue, because a new character they released that's mid, I can never tell anyone or recommend them to spend money on this banner, right? Which is their end goal, is people spending money on the banner, and including characters that are returning. So for example here, right? Easton's banner is returning with all of these terrible characters. Like, some of them are still okay, like Green Galfer, Matrona's good, but like terrible, he's okay. Okay, terrible, okay. So it's terrible characters. And look, Epic 7, I have my game farming a different like thing, right? In this latest patch notes, And you might think this is predatory because the banner's just back, but no, it's not. Like, they need to make money, right? It's simple. The banner for this character right here, Zahawk, has just returned, right? His rerun banner is currently in the game. So they're telling people, by the way, if you pull for the character that has just returned to the game and it's pullable right now, he's gonna get buffed in a few days, right? Imagine they rerun these characters and like, this Dan that sucks, this Dan sucks. They buff her. And then more people are gonna be like, oh, I kind of want to chase her now. It's just like, you would make them more money. They're stupid. The developers are stupid. Okay, I'm getting angry now. And, well, that's it. Like, that's all I wanted to say. I just want to vent this because I'm playing the game now and I see, oh wow, this game, like, Vildred's buffs aren't even, like, that deep. They're just buffing his damage. That's all they're buffing. There's some characters just need a damage buff. Here, look. Look at this boy right here. The one Escanor. He wouldn't be top tier if you just buffed his damage, but guess what? He would be better. And this is not buffing his damage. Ignoring 30% defense is most certainly not buffing his damage. Before anyone say, oh, Holy Relics are buffs. No, Holy Relics are an added passive to the character, which maybe you could call a buff, but it's still something you have to craft, right? It's still something that, for example, a character like Diane, best example. I won't say horrible, but unusable character for high tier PvP, right? Got a relic, became top tier, right? You still need to be the hardest activity in the game to do this. Now imagine if, I mean, she wouldn't get all this from a buff, right? But if instead she just got buffed naturally, you logged into the game and the character is just straight up better. Just like it was with the slime characters. That's all I'm asking for. It cannot be that hard. It can't. You know why I know it can't be that hard? Because they do this every 2 weeks, man. Like, how? It can't be that hard. One thing, though, they're doing is they're nerfing a character as well. I don't think Grand Cross has any characters that needs to be nerfed. Like, currently the meta is very good when it comes to, like, variety. But this character like Hwayong is being nerfed, which is pretty strong. I mean, I've only played the game for a month, and the character is actually pretty strong, right? But there's like a stronger character than her, so I don't know why she's being nerfed specifically. And a lot of people are confused as well. But she's being nerfed because she's very strong, very dominant. A lot of people use her. And if you have a character that's being nerfed, right, it's like a bummer, right? You invest on the character, so for the character. But what they do is, I don't know where it says. Somewhere here it says, if you have her, you can choose a different similar character. So for example, this character is not like a limited character or anything. It's not like the equivalent of like a festival would be. The equivalent of like a festival would be like a character like this one, like these like Moonlight, like the equivalent of like a festival, right? So let's say they nerfed, I don't know, what's like a stupid character right now? Brynhilder. For whatever reason, they nerfed Brynhilder, right? Which again, there's no need, right? But for example, then you'd be able to like, you get a ticket, and for each of like the dupes you have, you'd also get a dupe for that character with the ticket. So like recall her for like maybe Summer Merlin, because like a similar type of character, right? Like a seasonal character, something like that. But again, the game barely does nerfs anyways, because nerfs are not something you want to do. Nerfs piss off the player base and stuff like that. But buffs, no one gets pissed about buffs. I can tell you that. 0 players in the community get pissed about buffs. They just look at this, right? Okay, this character Luluka, it's like a PvE character. She got slightly better. That's nice. I have a character. I have her. I don't. Like let's say I do. Let's say I have her, right? And I wanted to use her, but she wasn't strong enough. Now she is. Good. That's great. I have one more usable character. So many characters in Grand Cross could be buffed and would be usable. Like, Red Galfer is still a fantastic character, but I don't use him. You know why? I mean, kind of a cancer character, but his stats suck. His CC sucks. He's not doing much other than just attack ceiling, right? If they buffed his stats, guess what? More people would use him. Okay, maybe it was a bad pick saying Red Galfer, because I don't want more people to use him. But I don't know, Nanashi. His passive is not the worst. If they buffed his passive to, like, I don't know, be like, always give the characters the buffs and stuff like that. So always, anytime someone attacks your team, they lose ultimate gauge. and then buff his stats to actually be competitive, that would be a perfectly usable character that no one is using right now. Like, he still used to get a relic, but, you know, no one's using this guy anymore. Or he was barely used to begin with, right? And it's a simple fix. Again, just buff his passive slightly and give him a little bit more stats. Okay, give him quite a bit more stats, but that's my point. Very easily, you can rerun his banner or make him pullable from a recent banner, right? The moment you buff him, put him on a banner. And more people are going to be like, oh, I'm kind of enticed to summon on that banner. It's just like, it's free money. It's, I don't know. And you make the player base happy. So, let me know what you think. It can't be that hard, bro. It just can't be that hard.